There are lenses, and then there are some great lenses. And then there are some very special lenses that can change the way you think about your shooting style. This is the lens that you find yourself using more often than not. The lens that's usually already attached to your camera when you pick it up. Now, if you shoot with the Fujifilm X system, you know that there are quite a few lenses that have this special sauce, this magic to them. And today I'm going to tell you about one that has quickly become my new favorite go-to lens. What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me as always. Well, without further ado, today we're talking about the very cool, very large, and very capable Fuji 50mm f1 lens. Now, I've had my eye on this lens for a long time, and one day recently I just decided to jump in and purchase one. I found a good deal on a pristine used model, and I immediately started shooting with it. So why do I think this lens is so special? Well, the 50 f1 lets you do things that other lenses just don't. For instance, you can shoot in very dark situations and still create not just acceptable images, but exceptional ones too. And as someone who does a ton of concert photography, lots of times in poorly lit venues around New York City, 50mm has allowed me to shoot images at ISOs I never dreamed of. In addition to giving me a full stop of light over an f1.4 lens, it also gives me more latitude in the editing room where I really want to keep noise levels manageable while applying my preferred editing style, which sometimes can actually be rather heavy. Now, I did make some great images with this lens even as low as ISO 200, 320, and 400, but on average in a really dark club, I was shooting from 800 to 1600 up to 4,000, which was a really pleasant surprise because in the past I was averaging 3,200 to 6,400 and sometimes above. But there are other reasons why the 50mm f1 is so special. As a portrait photographer who loves to shoot wide open, the absolutely insane Tona has made this lens one of my go-to choices in my studio as well. At f1, the sharpness is excellent, although once you stop it down between f2 and f4, the images are insanely good with sharpness and contrast that even the pixel peepers among you can't fault. And for those of you wondering, yes, the 50mm f1 is part of Fuji's optimized lens list, so it will resolve your 40 megapixels in all their glory. The 75mm equivalent has also proven a huge plus. It's an excellent range for concert photography in the small venues that I frequent where you just need to move your feet around to get the good shot, while also remaining an excellent portrait range lens that lets me get close enough to my subject without having to be far away to the point where I feel like I lose my connection with them. And considering that Fujifilm made this lens basically as a sort of flex to show what they were optically capable of, it only makes the fact that it's such a versatile and functional tool even more impressive. Okay, but even the best lens has to have some negatives. And really, when it comes to the 50mm f1, there are two major drawbacks, with the first being its size. This lens, when compared with other fast primes in the Fuji arsenal, is just massive. And not only is it large, but it's heavy. The insane build quality, which includes multiple weather sealing points and an all-metal construction, are part of the reason why it's so heavy, which does put a silver lining on the size and the weight when you're lugging it around. Now, on an X-T5, although the balance isn't terrible, it isn't great either, so I find myself using it with a small rig grip when I'm using the X-T5, and I really enjoyed using it with the vertical grip on my X-T4 as well. In this case, it doesn't feel that bulky and it has a nice balance to it. The other drawback of the 50mm is, of course, AF performance. Now, I didn't expect the speed to be great when I acquired this lens, and it's not. But I was pleasantly surprised by its speed and accuracy considering it's such a large element. And with Fuji lenses, you really never know what the AF is going to be like. And it doesn't matter how new or old they are, it's just kind of hit or miss. But comparing it to the lenses I've used, I would say that the performance is pretty good and it's not the loudest or clunkiest that I've tried. It is loud and clunky when compared with the 16 to 55 2.8, for instance. However, I haven't found it to be too slow to get the job done for me. The last drawback is a smaller one, but the 50mm has a close focusing distance of over 2 feet, and sometimes I found myself having to move back just a bit to get my subject into crisp focus. So what's the verdict on the 50mm f1? Is it a lens that every ex-shooter needs to have in their bag? Well, no, I don't think so, because it is a fairly specialized lens, and there are other smaller and cheaper Fujifilm lenses that can get you pretty close to achieving what the 50mm does when it comes to its low light performance and image quality. But there's still a difference, and it has that special sauce and that magic that just has made it the right lens for me. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button while you're at it. Check out my sponsors in the description below, including my friends at B&H Photo in New York, who've been just simply amazing supporters of my channel. Here's wishing you an amazing day, everyone. Go out and take some incredible pictures, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.